Hi everyone, Mary at Espresso Press Design. How are you today? Thank you for joining me. It's December 19th, 2024, and today we're going to be making some little angels. Inspiration from Happy Bird's Glitter Nest, and I will be showing you her link because mine are different. So I believe I may have forgotten this last time. Thank yous and appreciation, Sierra, Karen, Marilyn, and Marianne. Thank you so much for your orders, comments, likes, shares, subscribes, and all that good stuff. Thank you so much. So here is today's project. They are adorable, adorable little whimsical, primitive type angels. Look at their little feet there, and their little dress. And that's what we're going to be making. I've been making angels now for days, and I began similar to hers with a bead, and then I tried a button, and then I just did staples, and then finally I ended up with what I'm going to show you now. Okay, today I'm going to show you a bead and the plain circle, because I particularly wanted mine to be a little flat so they could be used as a bookmark. I plan on putting these on book gifts. So that was when I saw them, I thought, oh, that would be perfect. You could hang these from a little tag. And originally I was just going to emboss them into a tag. They would make a lovely addition to a tag or a journal card or a cluster. And then I have another idea. Just a second here. I bet I have things falling all over the place. I bet I can even get a way to slide them on a bookmark, like with the elastic. I just thought of that this morning. So, okay, I want to show you my haul. Sorry, I have things falling out of my book. Wanted to show you my haul, tell you a little bit about my day. It was lovely. One of those historic towns. I got this little book, and it's halfway there, so I thought that would, I love the paper, love the design. Then I got this thesaurus, Roget's thesaurus, words and phrases, and everything is pretty much rubbed off except words and phrases. So that was $5, more than I would usually spend, but I'll make use of that. And then I got these cute little antique buttons in a antique shop. Mermaid pearls, Lady Washington pearls, finest pearl. I didn't actually realize there were 3 in there. And then I got these 1950s. I'm not going to take them all out because that one has to be bent to come out. 1930s to 1950s Christmas photos. I just couldn't resist. the standard pose. Oh, and that little kid with his drum set. And there's a wagon. Mom or Grandma by the Christmas tree, and there's the only one that's in Coda color. That little girl. And this one I believe is from the 30s. Yeah, 1935. So that was my haul, and that was my day. So, okay, I was going to do these larger so that you could see them more easily, but I just zoomed in a lot more than usual, and hopefully you'll get it, but if not, I will definitely post her link and you can watch both videos, and I believe hers is very close up. So what you'll need are some punches, and I'm using my scallop punch 1.5, 1, and my 5/8. I have some book pages, and I have these stacked in 3 so I can cut all my word bases at once. I have some Christmas scraps, and I have a beading needle, I have some twine, and I have some glue. So I think that's it. So they're very simple, actually. And I just have these stacked in 3. You'll need 3 large, 3 large, and 3 small of your colored paper. So I think I'm going to go with this one. And hopefully I got that. Yes, I did. Okay. And 2 or 3 small of your base or head. Oh, and did I say you'll need a stapler? I'm using stapler and glue. I'm sure there's a better way to do this base, but I just didn't have time to mess around with it anymore. And I'm going to do one just out of cardstock. So originally, I just had mine stapled, and I don't mind that. But then I thought, well, some people might not like that. So, okay. So 3, 3, and 3. Then what you're going to do is you're going to fold your little circles in half. If you don't have a scallop, you can just use circles. There go the dogs. I'm sure you could probably hear them. You're going to fold those in half. Now this might be hard to explain, but I kind of like to get mine so I have that one top scallop folded in half, so I get that little point. But that doesn't always go as fast as I just did at that moment. And then we're going to put these together like a Christmas tree. Kind of like that. Okay, but we have to get the dress on first. And then the top one, I just fold. That gets folded in half too. And I usually fold it with the text going down or diagonal. So then these get folded in half. And this is our little dress. And then it's going to get glued. And I also forgot to say you'll need a paper punch if you want to do them like me. And then this is our little bib. I'm going to call it a bib. It goes over the top one. So these are going to get glued. To the middle, like so. I finally finished that glue and have a new glue bottle, and spilled glue halfway down the side of it yesterday. Okay, so let me glue this. Folding's shifted a little, but that's okay. Then I'm going to have to bring this up here so you can see. I can't remember if she exactly did this next part. She might have just threaded hers up the bib or string. She doesn't have little feet on hers like I do. Okay. So I'm going to glue this, and we put glue just along the top. And you can decide which one you want over and which one you want under. And then we just want to line it up with the center and make sure the bottom of the angel is even. Okay. So let me get a piece of paper here so I can bring this up, and maybe this will work to show you. Here we go. I want to leave that top open a slight bit so that I can get a string through that as well. So there is like a tiny little opening there in the top. And then there it is. And then make sure it's even. And that should be standing up. There. Make sure it's even. Okay. So then we'll get our top glued. The first one I will do I'll do a bead, because I'm assuming most people will like a bead. And the staple, getting the staple, it's a little fiddly to try to get a staple on there. Okay. So of course that's going to go on there like that. Okay, so I line mine up here with the center. Get my center. Make a little mark in there with a pencil. Then I take my paper punch. Make a hole. That just seemed easier to me. Okay. So there, now we have two holes and they're going to line up with each other. So then you take about 6 inches of twine. Let me choose a couple of beads here. I have some wooden beads here. And then I thought, rather than make a knot at the top, let me see if I have any round green. Probably not. So guess I'm going to go with blue again. Or no, maybe pink. I'll do pink. So then, if you don't want to have to tie a knot at the top of your bead, I thought it'll probably work if you find a very tight bead, like a seed bead. But I have to make sure I can get both threads through that bead. So I'm going to put my thread on my beading needle, which is jewelry wire. Go up through the body. There, I'm through the body. Through the little wings. Or should, no, okay, yeah. Bead is last. So it's body, wings, bead. Hopefully I didn't have to cut that twine longer. I'm going by my circle measurements. Okay. So here's the trick. If it'll thread through this twine, I don't know. No, this hole's a little too small. Let me see if I can find one with a slightly larger hole. So I want to keep that thread tight. Nope. This is what happens when you're too lazy to get your seed beads out. Gonna give it one more. This one's almost as big as the head. It's probably not going to look right. Yeah, that one finally went. So you know what? It's very tight. So I'm going to pull that one off and use that for the head instead. Because this wooden bead has a very large hole. And I think it's tight enough. And there's a white one. Let me try that. It's tight enough, it won't slip off the thread. Yeah, okay, there we go. Did I lose my feet? You pull my other foot back down here. Okay. This is discombobulated, but I think you get the drift. You want a tight enough bead, or put another little tiny seed bead, or last resort, I would put a drop of glue above that bead, which is what I think she might have did. So okay, there you have it. Now if you want to keep your wings floppy, be my guest, but I am going to glue mine down. And to do that, I want to make sure everything is straight. And perpendicular. Put a dab of glue there. 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 Glue that down. Okay. So there we go. That bead won't be coming off. And then I'm going to glue my back. There we go. Then I'm just going to go in there and even out my feet because I accidentally pulled one thread longer than the other. So there we go. There's the bead. Oh my God, they are so stinking cute. Oh, I just love them. Okay. So there we go. There's the bead. And I hope you get the drift of that. So let's do a circle one. Let me get a sip here. And I know there was something else I forgot to tell you about our weekend. The thing is, you know, this book has the name Estelle in it, and that's my daughter's name, and since I've been cutting these, I haven't seen it once. Which would be nice, since I've been punching these. So anyway, I forgot to tell you that we made it the whole way up there, and the one, you know, didn't have any problems, and then Sunday morning we were going out. So I'm doing the same thing. I need 3 large word circles, and I'll need 3 smaller decorator circles. Right. Okay. So I think I'll do this one. Has these little polka dots. 1, 2, and maybe I'll do the bib differently. 3, and I already have my 3 little circles. So we're going to do the same thing. Put on our little dress. So anyway, Sunday morning we were going out and the road was a sheet of ice because they didn't reach our hill in time to salt it. So there was a pile up in the middle of the hill. Well, one truck was sideways and everyone behind them managed to stop. And we couldn't stop. As soon as we made the curve, as soon as we made the turn, we couldn't stop. And there was a cop there waving his arms frantically, stop, 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 which of course we were trying to do. And finally my husband swerved, managed to swerve to the left a little bit so we could avoid hitting our neighbor in the behind, who our neighbor had to go up on the embankment, the upper embankment, to avoid hitting the person in front of him. And I don't know what the person in front of him had to do to avoid hitting the truck that was sideways. But then we almost, I thought for sure we were going to go down the embankment on the left and end up in the bottom of our neighbor's yard. So what they did was they backed the salt truck up to the truck that was sideways and then directed everyone to go in turn after the person in front of them was safely down the hill. So my neighbor was like, okay, I got a dispensation. And I wanted to turn around and go home because my husband, I was so afraid of having it happen on another hill. And then my husband said, oh, it's safe down everywhere else, let's just go. So it was. Okay, there's our other little Christmas tree coming up here. put the little bib on the wings. Get that centered. So I have a few more things to make. Still have to make the notebooks. Okay, so I line it up in the center. Take a pencil. Make a little dot in there that I can actually see. My daughter decided to be a lazy college student, apparently. Said she doesn't want to decorate the tray. Which that was a drama because I said, I'm done with the 6-foot tray. Don't have the energy to do it anymore. Well, that's a little off, but I still have a hole. That's fine. Okay. So I start over here. I always do the same side. If you want to start on the right, that's fine. Put these together like a little Christmas tree. I mean, once you do it and you get where yours are lined up, like that little outer edge of that scallop is lined up with the outer edge of there, you know, it's like a pattern. And then just make sure your bottoms are even. Make sure it stands up. Then line up your 2 holes. Get your 6 inches of twine. These are so adorable. I could think of a lot of things to do with these. So I guess we'll be adding shopping for a Christmas tree to our list of things to do, because unless I have a team, I don't see me doing this tree. And it's not even up yet. I mean, I just can't. Boy, that's way off. Okay, when I glue that, I'm going to have to recenter my wings a little bit because they're a little off. Let me make sure my feet are even. Okay, I have my string through there. So I'm going to get a disc. I'm going to put a little bit of glue on my string. If you don't want to do the staple and you just want to do the glue, that's fine. And I just want so as I said, I'm going to have to straighten this whole thing a little bit. I just want a little bit of a chin, if that makes sense. I think I need a little bit more string, like so. And that's just basically holding it in place so I can staple that string. And I might have to come off camera to get this, because the staple is the same width, almost the same width as my circle. So there you go. So that just helps me keep everything in place, basically, and flattens that string a little bit. Otherwise, you're going to get a little bit of a lump. So make sure you use heavy paper for your thread. Or use a button, because once you go through those 2 holes, it's kind of like using a bead. Okay, and actually that's my front. So I'll be gluing a face on the back and the front of that circle. To hide the staple. Even though I didn't mind the staple, I just made them in an X. And since I thought these were kind of primitive anyway, that didn't bother me. I also made some in a cross. So I'm going to glue. This is my front. And I know it's my front because I always put my left dress fold over. So this is kind of like, you know, those little lollipops that you got when you were a kid? It's just a little loop up there on top. Those little lollipops on the string. So I'm just going to put the face on the back. Line up my circles. Give it a, whoops. Give it a pinch. Okay, now see, I can see my staple through there already because I pinched it too hard, but oh well. Okay, let me get my feet here. And there's another one. Where'd my other ones go? So there we have the bead in the circle, and it is 43. And there was a lot of talking and a lot of other things. So okay, if you do the button, you still have to put something on the back if you want, but the button is probably the quickest of all. The bead second, if you get the right bead, so nothing slips off. But as I said, I wanted mine flat. And there is our little what am I going to call these? Whimsical or primitive. I'm not quite sure yet what I'm going to call them. Oh, and by the way, Etsy still has me in the doghouse. I've written to them. I have no idea what's going on. I'm afraid I'm getting the kiss of death. I put an announcement on my shop, so you'll see that this wasn't any of my doing. But it's been over 48 hours. I've written to them. I have no idea why they have me in holiday mode. But I fear it might not be good. Because when I went on YouTube to see if this happened to other people, of course it did. And their shop was down for weeks or months. So I don't know what I'm going to do if that happens, but I'm just letting you know. It appears that someone did place an order, but I don't know how. They probably had something in their shopping cart. So, okay everyone, let me bring these up and show you one more time. They're the most adorable things. Those three were the first. Let me get all these up here on top. And there's the ones, whoops. Here's the ones we did today. Aren't they gorgeous? So cute. I can't stand it. With their little dresses. Oh my. And could you imagine all the different papers you could use? I really wanted to use wrapping paper, but it was just too thin and I thought they needed a little more stability. Oh my gosh, adorable. These are going on book gifts. That's why I use the words. Okay, thanks a lot everyone. I'll see you next time. Gonna be something easy for Christmas. You have a great week and thank you so much for your time. Bye.